Shalom. Welcome to GMS Gals in the Streets. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, whom I worship. Double honor to my elder apostles, a great millstone, who taught me this word in sincerity and in truth, and who rule well and are still on the highways and byways after so many years pushing this word and continuing on since the time when they were young men. Salutations to all the Akim who are doing the same out there throughout the world, and also to the confusion of face brothers out there. Keep pushing this word into the end, and remember that prophecy is the main thing when it comes to this word. All right, I am the elder Sakuran from the GMS New York camp, and saw another article that caught my attention that I wanted to get into, which is dealing with the collapse of the U.S. currency, okay, the dollar. As you know, the U.S. currency is a fiat currency, and let me just pull up that definition. So the word fiat is a noun, and it states a formal authorization or proposition, a decree given by a government, right? In this case, a authorization or a proposition for having a paper currency that people use to purchase, right, items for buying and selling. Right? It says adopting a legislative review program rather than trying to regulate by fiat. So I'm trying to get the actual definition. Give me a second. Okay, so this is from vocabulary.com. Looked up fiat, and it says you might think a fiat is just an Italian car, but it actually means a legal, authoritative decision that has absolute sanction, from the Latin for "let it be done." So when they created the United States dollar, knowing that, well, at first, it used to be a certificate for either gold or silver, okay, in any amount. But then they passed, the whole the fractional reserve banking system, and throughout time, they pretty much devalued the this paper currency, and it was no longer backed by gold or silver. You were able to go to the bank if you had $10. If you had $10 in your pocket, it would say this is a certificate for the amount of either gold or the amount of silver. All right, it was either gold or silver certificates, and you would go into your bank and you would hand it in, and they would give you the that amount of gold or silver. So the government throughout time, they said, well, look, just hand in all your gold and your silver, and we give you these certificates. That way, it won't be so cumbersome. It won't be a pain in the neck for you to carry all these coins on you that could be stolen from you, or you could lose them, right? Because of the weight, because they're heavy. If you was to get a 1 ounce silver coin, you could feel the weight. It'll be what I believe 99.999% of silver, which is 100%. And there'll be an actual, you'll feel it. Actual, if you get a scale, you put it on there, it'll say 1 ounce, okay, or almost 1 ounce of pure silver, and it'll be weighty. So imagine you having hundreds of these things on your person. It'll be too heavy. In the ancient world, they'll have little bags, that they carry their gold or their silver in. Back in the Roman time, they had what was called the denarii, and I believe, that those were in silver. Give me a second, let me check that. They had the denarius, all right, the denarius, and it says it's a noun, plural. The plural is denarii. The denarii, okay, a silver coin and monetary unit of ancient Rome. Okay. In the beginning of America, that's what the currency was, because America is the the return of ancient Rome. You know what I'm saying? The continuation. So they knew that. They knew of the denarius, or the denarii, or the denarii. So they knew about the weights and measures of money. The so-called founding forefathers, right, of America. They weren't stupid. It says a silver coin and monetary unit of ancient Rome, first issued in the latter part of the 3rd century BC, that fluctuated in value and sometimes appeared as a bronze coin. Yeah, because throughout time, what they did was devalue the denarii, or the denarius. So where it was at one point pure silver, they started mixing it with bronze, to the point where it became fully damn near bronze, and a few percent of silver in it. The quarters, the quarters um that the mint used to make here in America, they used to be of pure silver. And the way you could tell is by looking at the sides of the quarter, where the ridges are, and you will see if it's pure silver or not by looking at it, because you will see if it's pure silver, it'll be just a solid color of silver. Now, if it was mixed with bronze or something else, or copper, I believe the copper, you will see the copper, a little bit of the copper on the sides there, and a little bit of the silver. And that is called the devaluing of currency. Okay. So that's where the whole value of the money comes from. But now when America went and actually just went full scale paper currency, backed by nothing, then really the value of money turned to shit, because the U.S. dollar is backed by nothing, and to print one of those is probably a few pennies just to print one of those. Okay. But let me just finish reading this. I could go back. It says a silver coin and monetary unit of ancient Rome, first issued in the latter part of the 3rd century BC, that fluctuated in value and sometimes appeared as a bronze coin. I want to see if I could get a picture of one. All right, so what you're looking at is a denarius right here, and the plural of that is denari or denarii. Okay, that's a silver or ancient Roman silver coin. Um, on one of the definitions, I think from Merriam-Webster dictionary, it said that one denarius was worth 10 asses, or 10 mules. Now, can you, with 1 ounce of silver today, what can you buy? You think you could buy 10 mules with that amount today? No, because of the value of the US dollar that keeps dropping. Okay, and so that's what affects the price of gold and silver today. Because they have put they have put they have created this fractional reserve banking system, based on a paper currency that has no value. So it fluctuates greatly, and the value keeps dropping. And the reason why is because people are losing their faith in the U.S. currency, and that's what I wanted to bring out about the word fiat. Pretty much it means so let it be. In other words, that's Esau saying, look, we know it's not based on anything, but we're gonna make it happen anyway. And the people believe this shit, and they start, using it and adding value to it because of what they believe. They believe that they could use this currency for, buying and selling and stuff like that. So they made something out of nothing, so to speak. But it has a limit. It has a limit to it, and that's what we are closely approaching, the end of the United States dollar, and everybody's coming to find out about it. See that it's worth nothing, and this is the reason why the U.S. goes to war with people, fighting them, because they wake up to the U.S. currency, man, that is nothing, and then they start getting rid of it, because a lot of these countries, they use the United States dollar for certain things. I believe when it comes to oil, that's the means of exchange. When they're dealing with oil, it has to be done within the U.S. using the U.S. currency. There's an actual term for it. Right, and that term is the petrodollar, also known as the U.S. oil dollar. And I could read a little bit here, and it states, the U.S. oil dollar. At the end of World War I, our currency shifted from the gold standard. You see, at one point, the our currency was backed by either gold or either by silver. From the gold standard over to what is now called the petrodollar, or the oil dollar. So as the price of oil rises, our dollar value drops. For decades, OPEC's currency for all exported oil was the good old greenback. See, and that's how the nations dealt with the transactions when it came to oil. It had to be with the U.S. dollar, also known as the petrodollar. And today, 50% of the strength of the United States currency is dependent on cheap, plentiful oil, while the euro gains in price and the dollar drops. Fears have begun to develop that OPEC could successfully shift its standard currency from the US dollar to the euro, as Iraq and Iran have tried to do. And that's another reason why, as you've been hearing, why they're coming after Iran. And you already know what happened in Iraq. They attacked Saddam Hussein, and they killed him and took him out of toppled him from his place. Took him out of power, and they damn near took over Iraq. And it was one of the reasons because of this, also to take over their oil reserves, man. It says that the value of the dollar would plummet by roughly 50%, and we would find ourselves in an economic state far worse than the Great Depression. And that's what we head into. Okay, that's what we head into, man. The terrifying part is, without our military presence in the Middle East, it would probably happen. Yeah, but the thing is that America is doing exactly what Rome did. They have spread out themselves too thin, and the nations are fed up with the U.S. because they know that the U.S. doesn't have that power like they used to have. That's why as of late I've been referring back to Isaiah the 14th chapter, because the nations, they were saying, have you become as weak as we? In other words, here it is, your currency is falling, everybody's economically, all the nations are getting stronger. China's getting stronger, and these nations, they're concentrating, they're going back to the whole gold and silver standard, man. And to you brothers, not that you should put your faith in it, but just a means of wisdom, because like the scriptures say, um, wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. We knowing that this dollar is going to shit. You may want to consider just collecting, silver, the silver eagle coins, 1 ounce, 1 ounce coins, and they're right now, I believe the spot price for one silver eagle 1 ounce coin, it's about, I believe the spot price is about 17, almost $18. You know, there's a site you could go to called silver.com. There's many sites that you could go to, and it's just a means of wisdom. Because we as Hebrew Israelites, right, the kings of this earth, you know, although we're not physical kings at this moment, but future kings, right, under our Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Hamashiach. We are to know all in the kingdom, in the kingdom, which we're gonna have uh, uh, um, things created with these precious metals, man, of gold and of silver, right, and of precious stones and things. So it's good to know these things. The scriptures speak about it, So hey, why not learn of it? So anyway, man, what I want to do now is I want to go into the article that caught my attention, and then get into some scriptures, of course, then end it there. So I saw this article on RT, and it caught my attention. Just wanted to go into it, and it says, "Dollar becoming toxic. More nations searching for alternatives. Russia's foreign intel chief." Yeah. So the nations are like, look, man, first of all, America's done. The United States currency is done. Oh, I wanted to bring out about the national debt, right? Give me a second. And the national debt has increased because of this US dollar that's backed by nothing. So I looked up national debt. This article here on NPR site came up. And it reads, U.S. national debt hits record $22 trillion. And like the other Apostle Tahar said, it's way more than that, you know? But that's what they got out there. It says the U.S. national debt hits record $22 trillion. Now, let's break that down, 22 trillion. What's the U.S. population of today? So, okay, so the current number of the U.S. population right now, as we now speak, is 329,018,087. Okay, so let's round that off. So it's pretty much 300 and pretty much, let's round it off, 330 million. And they're counting from the year 1950 to now. Okay, that's the U.S. population. So reading here, it says the current population of the United States of America is 329 million as of Wednesday, June 19th, 2019. Based on the latest United Nations estimates, the United States population is equivalent to 4.27% of the total world population. The USA ranks number 3 in the list of countries and dependencies by population. The population density in the United States is 36 per kilometer square. 93 people per miles square. The total land area and all that, yeah, we need to know all that. 83.9% of the population is urban. The median age in the United States is 37.8 years. So anyway, the main point I brought that out was to get that number. Okay, that's how many people there is in the United States as we now speak. Right. So I'm rounding it off to 330 million. So let's take 330 million. I'm sorry. We're gonna take 22 trillion. We're gonna take, and they, let me see, wait, right, that's how you know it's more. Let me see. Anyway, but it says 22 trillion. Okay. So let's divide that by the 330 million, which that's how many people are in the U.S. And let's see how much each individual is indebted when you do that, right? Okay, so let's take 22 trillion, right? So that's Okay, so that's what 22 trillion looks like. That's the US debt, right? We're gonna divide that by three, uh, 330 million, which is the population, the US population right now, as we now speak. Right, you could go to the census.gov page, the United States Census. They'll give you the live count on the U.S. population and also the world's population. So let's do that math, right, real quick. And that's the number right there. Okay, so that means each person right now will have to pay, each person in the United States now, right, will have to pay $66,666, and let's say 66 cents. All right. That's how much each person right now in the United States is indebted for. Okay. Now you think people, let's say if the government was to say these people have to pay this by the end of today. Do you have $66,666.66 that you could just cough up to the United States government? I don't think so. And that number, this number here is way less than what is really owed. Okay, it's way more than that. Let's round that whole number off to each person owing $100,000 each. Okay, and that's where the U.S. debt is, the national debt, in comparison to the U.S. population, man. Okay, which is 330 million people here in the. So that is not gonna get paid. That amount is not gonna get paid, and what's gonna happen? Well, what's gonna happen is the U.S. will have to foreclose. Okay, and the other nations are looking at that, and they're like, well, look, that's it for the U.S. dollar, that's it for the U.S. government. The other nations are stronger, so what do you think is gonna happen, man? They're gonna try to topple America, man, and like it says in Revelation, they're gonna burn her with fire. Okay, she has caused much damage, and then she tried to put the nations in debt by circulating this toxic money throughout the world, man. So it was like a trap, but the nations, they picked up on it, and they're getting hip to the game, and they're like, look, we got to create our own currency. We can't depend on this weak ass currency here, the U.S. dollar. So let me read on. It says, dollar becoming toxic. More nations searching for alternatives. Russia's foreign intel chief. The U.S. is an anachronism of the modern world economy, according to the director of the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, Sergei Narishkin. Talking at an international meeting of security representatives, he said, it seems abnormal that the United States, behaving so aggressively and unpredictably, continues to be the holder of the main reserve currency. Right, the nations hold the US dollar as a main reserve currency, which is debt. They're holding debt. Narashkin added, due to the objective strengthening of multipolarity, the monopoly position of the dollar in international economic relations becomes anachronistic. Gradually, the dollar is becoming toxic. It's not becoming toxic, it's been toxic. The head of the Russian intelligence service said that the use of the dollar presents risks, and more nations are looking into finding alternative tools for doing business. Countries across the globe. Yeah, and what's gonna happen with when all the nations decide on this? Do you mean to tell me the U.S. is gonna try to fight them all? Listen, all the like the scriptures say, man, they that were confederate with thee have laid a wound under thee, and that's one of those wounds, man. They're gonna, and that's from Isaiah the 14th chapter as well. That wound that's one of them. They're gonna turn to their own currencies, create a new currency that they could agree upon, and they're gonna leave the U.S. out, even the European Union nations. And there's an article on that too that I would bring out. Lord help me. Not today, or maybe later on. The EU nations, they're trying to get down with Russia, man. Why? Because they see this big flagship America sinking. So they're trying to jump off that that sinking vessel onto one that is stable, which is Russia. It says countries across the globe, including Russia, China, India, and others, have been working to diversify their foreign reserves away from the greenback. Yeah, because the greenback has no sustenance. It is not backed by gold. It is not backed by silver. It's backed by nothingness. Russia has taken concrete steps towards de-dollarizing the economy. So far, Moscow has managed to partially phase out the dollar from its exports, signing currency swap agreements with a number of countries, including China, India, and Iran. Russia has recently proposed using the euro instead of the US dollar in trade with the European Union. Like I said, and that's why the European Union, they want to go get into bed with Russia, because they've been dealing already, Russia dealing with the European Union, cooperating with them, and they're pretty much trying to push the U.S. aside, man. So this is what it's coming to. So what do you think is gonna happen, man? Once the U.S. dollar crashes, everybody leaves the U.S. dollar. What do you think is gonna happen, man? The value of the dollar is gonna go to shit. Just to buy a gallon of I was gonna say a gallon of milk, but we've been leaving that alone, right? But I don't know, hell, just to buy a gallon of water or something like that, let's say, that costed, I don't know, almost $2, it's gonna skyrocket into past $100 or something like that. Just giving you this, and this is what has happened in Venezuela. All right, if you want to know what happens to a nation after their currency falls, read about Venezuela and what's been happening there. Okay, so yeah, so pretty much this is beautiful. And once again, I have to go back and read Isaiah the 4th. The main scripture that keeps popping up in my mind right now is Isaiah. I mean, it's so many scriptures, right? But right now, in relation to this article here, Isaiah the 14th chapter keeps on coming up in my head, so I'm gonna bring that out. This is Isaiah the 14th chapter. The whole chapter is bad. You could read it for yourself. I'm starting at the 4th verse. Isaiah 14 verse 4. That thou shalt take up this parable against the king of Babylon and say, How hath the oppressor ceased, which is Esau, the Edomites, over here in Babylon the Great. The golden city ceased. America. America was that golden city. Okay? All nations are coming to find out that America, what's that saying? All that glitters is not gold. Although America seemed to glitter at one point to the nations, they came to find out that it was not gold. It was just gold coated. Underneath was dirt, okay? Tarnished brass or something like that, but it was not gold, all right? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked. Who's the wicked? Esau's the wicked, right? Pursuant to Job 9:24. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked by the Most High, okay? Who controls the earth today? The so-called white man does. Who are they? The Edomites, the children of Esau. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, meaning his rulership. Okay, the staff represents the scepter, so his power, okay, of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. Now, what makes a kingdom strong and the rulers strong? Is it not their monetary system, their riches? Okay, is it not their military? But the military cannot be strong if it's not fed, man. Okay, if it's not clothed, if it's not furnished with weapons of war, and these things, you got to have money for all these things, all right, to keep that machine going. So if you don't got the money, or if you don't have the money to support this military machine, that military machine will break down, okay, and it will not work. The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, that's the Edomites, beginning with our people. He smote us with wrath, right? With a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger, right? He dropped bombs on nations, took, used nations, man. He bullied the nations to take what they got. Is persecuted and none hindereth, right? So the time is coming where they're going to persecute Babylon the Great, which is America, and at the end burn her with fire. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, meaning the whole earth is at rest because this damn devil has been taken out the way, right? And it says that the whole earth is at rest. Right, the whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, because it says when the wicked beareth, the scriptures say, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, man. But when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And the nations they're going to rejoice once our Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah Hamashiach is in rulership and has placed all crowns underneath him, and we ruling with him. The earth and all the peoples within it are going to rejoice. Everything within the earth, above the earth, within the earth, in the waters, in the seas, the trees, they're going to rejoice because of righteousness being brought forth to the earth, man. Okay, by way of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feather is come up against us. Yeah, because these devils, they've been cutting down trees. They'll go into the rainforest, all right, and they'll start chopping down the trees in the rainforest, man. That's been there for thousands of years, that provide the earth with, oxygen and and they serve as a filter of pollutants and stuff. And this damn devil chops them down. Okay. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? And that's why I brought this out, dealing with the dollar, because the dollar's weak. So that has made America vulnerable. Not only that, all the nations are gaining nuclear weapon capabilities, and so it has made America weak in the eyes of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And the answer is yes. Thy pomp, which is the pride of Esau, is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, and the vials, man, the songs are, oh, say, can you see, and all that shit, right? But the dawn's early light, so for so proudly we stare, right? Thy pomp. And ain't nobody gonna be singing that song once the nations destroy America. And the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? And Lucifer represents the Edomites, okay? The Illuminati, the Edomites, right? The rulers of this of this earth, and mainly the Edomites over here in America, which is Babylon the Great, according to the Bible. Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Okay, and with that, I'm gonna just stop it there. I'm gonna Lord help me continue this, but this is what's happening. It cannot be stopped. This is the prophecy of the Lord, because America was not the promised land. All right, America was not the kingdom of heaven. America is the kingdom of hell. And with that, this is Elder Sakuran signing off. Once again, I'd like to say, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be alerted of all the videos I put up. And with that, I want to say shalom to the elect. Till next time.